featuring monthly $1,000 cash events with rotating formats. These events allow players to experience higher level tournaments close to home. A point structure that is easy to understand for both new and professional players. And finally, to top it off, a 16-person $2,500 championship event at the end of the year, utilizing a unique tournament structure. Be sure to stay tuned to social media for information regarding NRG Championship Trials. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the presentation of Nerd Rage Gaming Championship Trial Legacy Edition. I'm your host, Andrew Dowling. With me, my co-host for today, Ben Miney.
How you doing?
Ben, welcome to the booth.
Glad to be here.
It's your first time here? Are you excited?
I would say so. Yeah, totally excited.
Well, here you are.
Here I am.
We're here to talk about Legacy.
Absolutely.
We don't have our round one feature match yet. So it gives us a little time to talk about the CT.
For sure, for sure. This was a very important trial for the points, definitely. It's coming close, extremely close, as far as points are concerned.
There you go.
There I am in the old 7th place, right behind David Bocelli, Matt Hoey, Silas Walter, Max Malter, and John Kravatis. Will Hockman is mathematically locked for the Players' Championship.
He is.
As an at-large bid, and that's very exciting for him. As far as the rest of us, it's a really close race, all within 4 or 5 points for a very close margin. Every point counts. I went 2 and 3 today. Hopefully that gets me a couple points.
Yeah.
But you know, Dave, I didn't see David here. Was he here today?
David was not here today.
I didn't
David
think so.
hasn't participated in a CT in a while, so
wow.
his points, and Max Malter was not here today either, as he's gone away to school.
I see.
Gone for college, so both those players probably sinking in points as we get closer to the championship. Only one more CT left to go before the finals, so...
Well, I can say that Hoey and Tragos are both in top 8.
Correct.
They have both made top 8. Silas has gotten a couple points today. John got a couple points today. Justin got 1. Twan received 0 points. He did not show up today. And Tommy also received 1 point. And Alex did.
Sure. So some of the players moving up.
Yep,
some of them
some
moving
slightly
down.
up.
Yeah.
We all kind of all generically went up 1 or 2 points, except for a big tournament for Tragos and Hoey today.
Yeah. It was a good day. Matt Hoey hopefully going to do pretty well here in the top 4. Same with Peter, and then Scott Mayer, who's not on the leaderboard currently, is generally a buyer for Nerd Rage Gaming. Likes to be at the booths and things like that. Also in top 8, so potential here that he does fairly well, as he's had a pretty on-fire day today. I don't know what his record is. I think he's X1.
I think he was X1 going into the 6th round.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he drew. If he played, he might have played for seed, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I highly believe he drew.
I would think so.
He is 7th seed in the tournament.
Sure.
He is going to be playing against Matt Hoey, who is the 2nd seed. That's going to be an interesting matchup of Bug Delver versus Elves. It's a very tough matchup for Bug Delver, but if you have the turn 1 Delver and the force to back up for the natural order, things can go just fine. But if not, things can get out of hand very quickly.
Sure. Let's take a look. You said Will Hockman locked in his place, so we can bring up the qualified player list here as we see everybody who's so far got their places locked for the 2016 championship. A lot of faces we obviously know, some
Absolutely.
that are kind of new to the local scene. So
John Graham is a player from the Lake Geneva area.
correct.
Whitewater, Lake Geneva, around there. I'm good friends with him. He actually runs the Magic the Gathering Club at UW Whitewater.
Really?
Which is actually pretty cool.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Also a Pro Tour competitor? Didn't he play on the Pro Tour?
He won he didn't win. He top 8'd Grand Prix Madison.
Yes. I believe I think that's correct.
For the sealed Battle for Zendikar tournament.
That's awesome.
Then he is now a silver, actually. He's silver.
Really?
Yes, he 11 forward at the Pro Tour that he played at.
Wow. That's pretty
Indeed. He's a very good Magic player. Vincent was our Legacy CT winner last time. No Force of Wills to be found.
There was none. That's one of the best
He
streams.
won with Charbelcher, if you did not know that. And that was a very interesting tournament. I played that tournament, top 8 of that one as well with Death and Taxes. And thankfully, I did not have to meet him in the finals, because that would have been a slaughter.
That was your JIT moment, was it not? The real exciting blind draw of the double jits.
Oh yeah, I did that 2 rounds in a row,
Yeah.
both on camera. That
Yep.
was fantastic. Against one against goblins, one against Bug Delver,
My gosh.
and the one against Bug Delver killed 2 Delvers of secrets on that turn that I top decked. And that was fantastic.
So
But
everyone else, we kind of know. Noah
yeah,
Cohen, the first Legacy CT winner. Matt Dow was standard, I believe, beating Twan in top 8 and then going on to beat another opponent whose name I cannot remember while playing one of his favorite decks. It was like the Mono White Humans when it first came
sure.
out with Always Watching. So he secured his victory that way. Dakota Clark getting the win over Will Hockman
Yes.
originally to kind
Very
of
unusual set of circumstances for
yes,
that win.
Yes,
But a win nonetheless.
it counts. It counted. And then Chris Smith, Alexander Javed kind of rounding out the rest of the competitors there. I think Chris winning with Eldrazi in Modern.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember, what did Alex win with Affinity?
He
Was
did.
That,
He
that
did.
was his, right?
That was his win. It
Yeah.
was Affinity with Alex Javed. He has turned me on to 4 Spell Pierce and Affinity sideboards.
Sure.
A lot of Affinity players tell me not to do that, and it's just to waste a couple slots. And they cast their turn 3 Angers and their turn 4 Shatterstorms, and I
Blow him out.
just don't lose to that.
Sure.
It's been fantastic. I don't know. He's a very good Magic player.
Yeah.
Like you said, Luke Christensen also won with Affinity.
Yep.
And that covers everybody that has made a win at the championship trials.
Correct.
5 more at-large slots to go as far as we're concerned of counting Will Hockman as one of the seeds. If Peter Tragos or Matt Hoey come out with a win on top of this, that opens up another slot for the guys around the 20s.
Sure.
As far as that goes. So that's what people like myself, Justin Brickman, Twan. That's what all of us are kind of hoping to see happens. Or, I'm not. Of course, it'd be great to see some good Magic, and
Yeah.
anybody can win. Anybody can win a game of Magic.
I'm a little fearful for some of the guys on this leaderboard. I'm not going to name names currently, but
For sure.
I'm a little scared just because I think, though the CTs have been great, this going into the championship, we now kind of draw the line in the sand. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You'll be moving into something we haven't announced to the public, but obviously, guys today at the Legacy CD kind of heard how the championship is going to be conducted. Like that, it's not very easy. Kind of the finals that you're going to be approaching. I mean, it requires a player to know all facets of the formats.
For sure. And that's both, good and bad. That's a good learning experience if nothing else. But it is a competition for a share of $2,500. So
Yeah.
it's going to at least increase the playability of some of these players' Magic careers. So that's something to get out of it if nothing else.
Do you have all three of your decks lined up currently? I think you would. The Modern and the
I do.
Legacy. Do you have standard?
Well, standard could be anything.
Right? Yeah.
I really do like this Pro Tour Grixis list, though. This does look very good.
It's sweet.
I'm definitely going to be playing some Control variant moving forward. I'm not sure if it's Grixis, but Treasure Gear Hulk is quite a great card. As far as Modern and Legacy go, Affinity is a lock for me for Modern.
Okay.
Legacy, I'm not sure if I want to battle with Infect or Death and Taxes or Miracles or some weapon of the sort. I'm a pretty wide open book when it comes to Legacy.
Yeah.
So I want to keep. I'll keep something for a secret
Sure.
for that tournament.
I think all three of the decks you named. Obviously, I lean towards Miracles as a player,
sure.
but I mean, I think
Blue's
Infect
great.
is a fantastic deck. That deck is also an easy way to kill people, and Death and Tax is super annoying to play against. So
Yeah, I do love me a good Rashad Import.
yeah,
That's a good healthy Magic card.
yeah,
And,
totally not oppressive.
Exactly what people want to be doing. And playing against. But
Yes,
as you
of
guys
course.
know, Nerd Rage gaming team member Joe Lissette is a good, I would say good
Oh,
Miracles player. He's
I mean, it's night and day. I mean, compared to when I've played him when he's been in the store, and it's just
Yeah.
like, let's sit down for a friendly round of Miracles. I'm like, oh god, I'm terrible at this game. What am I even thinking?
man. You're like cast turn 2 counterbalance. And
Yeah.
it's like spell snare.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah, that happened. But anyway, we have some excellent Magic lined up for you guys. We're going to be having, like I said, Matt Hoey and Scotty. That's
Scott
right.
Mayer, I think, yeah.
Scotty on camera. And those are two fabulous Magic players.
Yeah, this will be a good matchup too.
Absolutely.
I think so.
It's
So
going to be
guys,
interactive. We're going to see some Golgari charms.
oh yeah, and
Um,
Toxic Deluge.
and Toxic Deluge.
Yep,
In fact, there's a Toxic Deluge in Scotty's main
there is.
that we last minute put in
Yeah,
to this
he's got
tournament.
some spice in the deck. I mean, Toxic Deluge in the main board. I know he's got a Leovold in the sideboard. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
that
That's the card people were talking about for Shardless, actually.
yeah,
Less so for Bug Delver because it is a 3-drop, and 3-drops are
but yeah,
horrendous for Delver decks usually. But hey, when you're playing the most value-based Shard, no,
yeah,
Wedge, is it
Wedge.
Wedge?
Yeah,
I,
no. Wait, Sultai
I don't
now
know.
is a
Oh yeah,
clan.
yes,
Jeez,
yeah it is.
there's a lot of things to remember now, color wise.
Right, but regardless, Leovold is definitely a spicy number, and
Yeah,
it's like I said, we're going to see some good interaction from both sides.
I hope so.
Yes, absolutely. I'm super excited for this.
Good. We got to take a break. We'll be back in just a minute with the first match of top eight, and then we'll get set. Nerd Rage Gaming is proud to announce the NRG Championship Trials, a tournament series featuring monthly $1,000 cash events with rotating formats. These events allow players to experience higher level tournaments close to home. A point structure that is easy to understand for both new and professional players. And finally, to top it off, a 16-person $2,500 championship event at the end of the year, utilizing a unique tournament structure. Be sure to stay tuned to social media for information regarding NRG Championship Trials. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready with your round one feature match. Thanks for tuning in to this Legacy Championship trial here at Nerd Rage Gaming. I'm your host, Andrew Donnelly. With me, my co-host, Ben Miney.
Hello, that's me.
Newest member of Team Nerd Rage as well,
Indeed,
aren't you?
glad to be a part.
I'm
It's
so
a
glad we got you.
fantastic group of people.
And here we go. We've already
Oh,
started. My God, we're into it. So we're a little bit behind here.
it looks like we're just on Hoey's turn 2. Yep, absolutely. Looks like a heritage Nettle Sentinel on turn one into a Heritage Druid. Dryad Arbor. No interaction from Scott Mayer so far, just a Deathlight Shaman.
Scotty's at 18. Pretty strong start for both these guys here. Thoughtseize.
Ooh. Now that is interesting. A Thoughtseize that bricks. Looks like Hoey's a bit of a mulligan on this game.
Didn't know. His Thoughtseize nabbed
Oh, he
Green
just put it
Sun.
straight in the guard.
Yeah, he
straight
just,
in the
Hoey
graveyard.
just
Okay.
booked it. He showed him two wooded
sure.
foothills and
For
the
sure.
other Dryad Arbor, I think, and then just
Yep.
slapped it in the yard.
Yeah.
And a Ponder here from Mayer.
Hoey's a pretty animated player.
Yeah,
Cool guy
definitely.
to be around.
I think my favorite Hoey moment is the "Let me count my elves, you're dead" play. Doing the math.
For sure. The tap all my fingers on the table.
Right. Scotty's going to find a tropical island off the catacombs. Who's your favorite in this matchup?
I would favor Hovey about 70% in this matchup.
Yeah. Elves
I
is
feel
strong.
like all of his cards are redundant.
Yep.
I wouldn't say all of them, but like generally. As you see here, it's just straight bash.
Interesting that Scotty's not going to clip the Heritage. I guess maybe he wants to keep the Delver.
Yeah, he needs a clock. He absolutely needs something to do, and just trading like with the Heritage Druid, like I said, is trading your threat for a piece of redundancy. It doesn't seem like this is turning out to be much of a Heritage Druid mana game.
Sure.
Although, if Scotty had something like a Deluge in his hand, um, it's just hard to say. It's going to be hard for Scotty to actually really get out of this game without a Toxic Deluge because all of his, I don't know, all of Hoey's cards don't really do anything.
Sure.
They don't really amount to much.
So you don't think the Heritage Druid is a threat until it's usable by like to produce mana. I mean, we know what's in Hoey's hand.
Right, like,
lands. So
if he kills the Heritage Druid right now, Hoey can still cast Natural Order. So, as we see a force in Scotty's hand, so that may not be as relevant. But regardless, we're going to see Liliana here, which is I'm not sure what if that's just better than leaving up an untapped Deathrite, but here we are. I think he wants to just divert some time into that because he has a second Liliana in his hand, and he doesn't really care about the first one as much.
sure.
Although I do think an untapped Deathrite is very strong against this board state.
I would agree against two Dryad Arbors and the Heritage Druid. Correct. I mean, the only thing we lose the Deathrite to is the Nettle Sentinel.
Yeah. Scott's hand is not very much. It is Delver, Force, Liliana, and Thoughtseize.
I'm assuming he's not like your plan isn't to commit the other Delver in lieu of hopefully protecting
Yeah,
yourself from a natural order or something
right,
like that.
exactly. If Hoey draws Natural Order, that could be a problem.
Or even Green Sun, I guess at this point is still probably pretty detrimental to the
It's actually
plan.
very surprising to me. Oh no, I guess Hoey had another land in his hand that he sacked Findhorn Elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Liliana minus. But we're just going to see some pretty elementary attacking here from Hoey. Lily's going to bite the dust because he doesn't want to trade his Delver for Dryad Arbor when he has a Liliana in his hand. And we see another Deathrite Shaman, or see a Deathrite Shaman from the opposite side of the table.
And Scotty's going to take the force on that. That's an aggressive.
That is an
play.
aggressive line. I think Scotty thinks he can just beat what's going on here.
Oh, he happy the Delver's not flipping.
Oh, that's absolutely backbreaking for Scotty. Being at 6 life, oof, it's close. And Hoey actually did find a Natural Order, so this could be big.
Wow.
So he's going to
Yep.
tap the Dryad Arbor for mana, use his other lands, attack for 16 plus their power. So 5, 21 plus 20, 23, 25. 25 points of damage I see if it goes unblocked. And dead.
That's it. Jeez, that game it's over fast. I mean, that's the card we talked about when we said that's why you got to keep the Force Will. If you're keeping the Force Will for that, I don't forcing the Death Rate is not something that I'm very very happy with. I don't know.
No. He might have thought that he couldn't beat a Natural Order anyway.
Okay.
And that his boards and he couldn't beat the Deathrite Shaman. So like he was like, I just need to make this Force of Will happen. I need to get some sort of headway, and this Deathrite Shaman will kill me in 3 turns. Like if nothing happens.
Yeah,
That's obviously like why.
That's what he thought,
Because
sure.
the Deathrite Shaman only presented It also was a blocker for the for an efficient blocker,
Right,
other than
right.
Nettle Sentinel, to block his second Delver of Secrets, which is not very relevant. But if nothing happens, Hoey just kills him in 3 turns.
Do you think there was a possible line there that Scotty could have saved his own death right, had better potential blocks, put creatures in Hoey's yard, and then extended his life total by abusing the Death Right Shaman that way? Like if we're killing the Dryad Arbor, Hoey's having to sack Findhorn Elves. If we're playing our second Liliana, causing Hoey to sack more creatures. I mean, eventually our Death Right's going to give us a little bit of ground against the aggressive deck that has nothing but 2 lands in hand,
For sure.
while we're keeping our force back. Or do you think
That,
you have to try and
I
take
think it's
the
very close, and it's definitely possible that's a line that he can take. But Scotty is trying to find the most profitable avenue to victory,
yeah?
and involving a natural order in that avenue is a very hard thing to
Sure.
really to beat.
Especially when your I'm
Yeah,
sorry, your Delvers aren't flipping. That's brutal.
yeah,
Like,
and
huh.
and for him, he really could he could really stumble if he just forces the death right, or if he just like waits with the force in his hand and
Yep.
leaves the death right. Like he has no time, really. Is
Very
the
true.
thing. But anyway, we're on to the sideboards now. If we look at our sideboards, we're looking at if we look at Scott's side, we're looking at the classic things that you would see out of a bug shell against elves. We're looking at Toxic Deluges, Golgari Charms, Grafdigger's Cage, Disfigures. Don't think there's much else. Maybe a Maelstrom Pulse if he's feeling like devoting his time into a 3 mana sorcery other than Toxic Deluge, but nonetheless, all these cards are fantastic. He's probably going to be cutting some of the slow things along the lines of. I'm not sure if he's going to keep in Days In. He might. Looks like he might cut some number of Liliana's are first out.
Yeah,
That card
they're
is
definitely gone.
not very good here. Hymn to Turok is also medium because it's a bunch of one drops and lands, so that can be less impactful. Thought Seizes may come out. True Name Nemesis is definitely out. It's pretty hard. This is a pretty streamlined list. We got 4 Ponder, 4 Tarmogoyf, like just four ofs of the entire board, except for Lilies and Hymns.
Which is interesting because the sideboard contains so many one ofs.
Right, and
It's really weird to see a deck that has so many main board 4 of spells and then
right.
has like a toolbox sideboard.
I'm not a big fan of that. When I come to sideboarding, I like to not have just like one or two
You like to have a
strange
take in,
cards.
take out amount. Is that like
Yeah,
if
because
you know you're taking out 3, you want to put in 3.
let's say you're playing against a deck where you need to find this card that you're sideboarding in. Like, let's say you're playing against Dredge, and you need to find this one copy of Surgical Extraction.
For sure.
That's a very small number of Surgical Extractions if that's your only card that you're going to be needing to get.
Yeah.
And if you're only, and if it's just in more extreme matchups, you want to have more copies of the card you need.
Yeah.
And like how he has here, one Surgical Extraction, you'll see that it might be hard for him to find that one Toxic Delusion in sideboard, the one Golgari Charm. Like it's hard to find these one-ups. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, which is
When
fair.
you're under pressure, like Matt is going to be presenting, as we are starting game 2 here, Delver into Nettle Sentinel, turn 2 Ponder to set up this Delver. That's pretty interesting. So what we got here is a Shovel.
Oh man, so he didn't find anything on top he liked, huh?
Not a good sign. Not a good sign.
I really think, I don't know if you saw just briefly there when they had their first 7, Scotty was very close to mulliganing. Like
Was he?
he touched the deck and then decided to back off from it. But I think there was an avenue there where he was thinking about maybe not keeping that 7. So
For
it'll
sure.
be interesting to see what he decides to do.
It seems like he's kept a heavy Delver hand. He's got another Delver in his hand. He's shoveled his Ponder, so it's not certain that Delver's going to flip next turn. That could be worlds of trouble, as Matt looks like he has a very good hand right now.
Jeez.
Yeah, it looks like an Elvish Visionary might be coming down this turn, or a Heritage Shira to set up maximum board state if he feels like Scotty doesn't have anything.
I don't know. I like the visionary.
I like the Visionary. I don't like playing the Heritage Druid, but he's going to go for it as if I guess Golgari Charm on his board is very very weak because of Deathrite Shaman and Nettle Sentinel.
That's
so
fair.
So he feels like he could just extend as much as possible.
I think I like the visionary before I run out the heritage druid because
Well, he
I'd like
can't.
to see if I
He wouldn't have enough mana. He would have tapped his guy's cradle for 2,
right.
and then he would have none floated.
But that's what I mean. So he's running out the board like you said in hopes
Yep.
that Scotty has a weak hand to like a wide board state. But
Mhm.
I think I like playing the visionary instead of the Heritage Druid to see what I draw, and then potentially trying to set up. Like if I draw a way to start bouncing the Visionary, then I feel safer playing the Heritage Druid.
Well,
But
he couldn't play the Heritage Druid in the same turn. That's what I'm
right,
saying. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
understand.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm
Oh,
saying
so
I
you're just
guess if
saying
I
on
was
the
a Matt,
opposite
I'd
side
wait.
of the
Yeah,
argument. Okay,
I would wait a turn.
for sure.
I'm a more reserved, I guess, Elves player than Hoey is. Hoey, like you said, is
Well, the thing is, he might be setting up a kill for next turn.
sure.
Is like the thing because he couldn't cast delay. Scott could not cast Deluge this turn if he even if he had it.
Right.
So and as you see he as you just saw he had Golgari Charm in his hand. So that's going to be nice for Scotty, but not the end for Hoey as he'll be able to keep his Shamans and Nettle Sentinel.
Yeah, like you said, the board state's really good against Golgari Charm, huh? A lot of the 2 power elves.
It is very strong, and as you can see, he's not even casting it
Right.
because
He's going for the
he knows
ponder.
it just really doesn't do that much. It effectively only trades with the Heritage Druid because Visionary like replaced itself. So as far as card advantage goes, so he's just look. He has a Disfigure in his hand, which I did see. So he's looking to interact with maybe a Deathrod Shaman or the Heritage Druid this turn. Instead, he might get rid of a 2 power or a 2 toughness creature to set up a better Golgari Charm next turn. Shuffle the Ponder, fetch away.
Jeez.
This is
Scotty's
not looking
digging.
good for Scott. Not at all. I think we also saw Hymn to Turok in Scott's hand.
That's an interesting card to keep in against elves.
Hoey's hand is not really amounting to much. Hoey making gestures, laughing around. What are you killing? And a 2 toughness creature like I thought.
Yeah. Bayou is the draw from it.
I don't know. This looks pretty. He's at least behind Scott.
Yeah.
But Hoey isn't really pressuring him that much anymore. This Golgari Charm is going to be actually pretty fine if the Delver would have flipped. But
Are these Delvers never
I
going
don't
to
think
flip?
we're going to see a flip Delver on this stream.
This is insane. This is 2 ponders,
Hoey just has 3 lands in hand.
a fetch. Yeah, but
Like-
that was the same last game too. He just had the double wooded foothills, and he was like, "Hey, whatever."
Well, I'll tell you what. This Golgari Charm is actually going to be very good. Since he decided to disfigure the Nettle Sentinel instead of the Deathrite Shamans.
Oh boy.
What it is? That was
Natural
Finhorn Elves?
order.
I think it's a Finhorn Elves.
Is it?
That's a Quirion Ranger.
Oh,
Sorry.
Quirion Ranger.
Close.
Thought it looked like the cheetah.
Yeah, not the cheetah. Ooh. I guess the Delver's dying to the Golgari Charm anyway.
Right.
He's gonna ooh, yep, he's gonna take this turn to decay a Deathrite Shaman. Yep. Just maximize on this Golgari Charm.
Yep.
Hoey wisely not playing out his Dryad Arbor in lieu of -1/-1 effects.
Scotty's got a turn here to him if he wants.
If he could cast 2 spells in this turn,
Yeah.
I would suggest doing that. But I don't know what Hoey would be holding. I think Hoey would cast a natural order if he had one.
I agree.
He might be holding a glimpse. It could be glimpse and lands,
Sure.
and that's what Scott might be thinking about. But if it was a creature, he'd probably play it. So we're looking at Sylvan Library in the hand. That's an interesting bring in. It's gonna hit him. Gonna get some lands, maybe a Quirion Ranger. All right, this middle one. All right, Dryad Arbor and Quirion Ranger to the bin. Gets to keep the not so very good Gaia's Cradle, and like I said, double spell in this turn. He's going to cast Gaia's Cradle. Gaia's Cradle. He's going to cast Digger's Cage to stop any future natural orders, and this is actually turning around nicely for Scott.
Low life total, but he can
Low
still.
life total, and anything could happen. But it's going to be tough battling through this Golgari Charm. And Toxic Deluge in his deck. So
Yeah.
this game is not going to go... If this game goes long, Scott is heavily favored.
I don't think he can abuse the life for Sylvan Library or Toxic
Oh,
Deluge
no.
anymore. Like,
Sylvan Library is Miri's Guile right now.
yeah. So does he have a second Delver in hand?
I do see one, but he doesn't want to cast it into the Golgari Charm.
Right.
Because he wants to be able to have the flexibility to set up you know.
My worry is that we still can't fight the death right then, right?
Right. Deathrite Shaman is a problem, and he doesn't really have an answer to it right now. Um, Scotty really, and Scotty's taking advantage of the Sylvan Library or Miri's Gal to find an abrupt decay or something. But
We drew another.
this guy's taking the block.
Oh, oh,
Oh, two is
two is too low right now.
definitely.
But
Oh
this, now
no,
it's
Maelstrom
pretty
Pulse
much.
is looking to be the draw right now.
Well, he'll have Sylvan Library to help him out, right?
Let's see.
Oh,
I honestly wasn't aware of how low he was at a life total.
nothing.
Deluge. He can do it for two, but he'll just respond. Matt will just respond with the Death
Right.
Shaman activation, and that will be the game.
Oh,
Hoey squeaking out a very unimpressive
yeah.
draw, you know?
Once again, it like you
But
said.
that's just how redundant the deck is. You
Yeah,
know?
it's very aggressive. I mean,
Death Shaman is great against Golgari Charm.
jeez, where was the where was the charm? So he just chose not to cast it at all, right?
Right. It was never an optimal play
Yeah,
because it only would have gotten half the board or a third of the board.
Right.
And he wanted to, he wanted to deal with the Deathrite Shamans, deal with the Nettle Sentinels until, that was
I just want
until his thing was better.
I wonder if it would have saved us that extra few points of damage we needed early on
Yeah.
to then take advantage of the toxic deluge. Like, obviously that's kind of hindsight now that we knew the deluge was so close to the top.
Yeah.
But if we had Sylvan Library, could we have saved ourselves enough life to potentially kill the death rights and stall the board a little bit?
I know if Scott's Delvers never, or if they would have flipped,
Yeah.
he would have had he would have had better blockers.
Sure.
I'm not necessarily sure if he would have been attacking or blocking, but definitely the fact that Delvers were 1/1s impacted Hoey's attacks. Definitely. Oh me, oh my.
Interesting. Very
Very interesting 2-0 win for for Matt Hoey over Scott Mayer.
Yeah.
And like I thought or predicted, however you want to say it,
Alright.
I kind of thought Matt would come on top of this just because Elves has always had a historical good matchup against Delver decks.
Yeah, it
Yes.
has. It's very strong.
Because Delver decks like to 1-for-1 for a lot of the time, and if a Glimpse of Nature goes unchecked, or Wildwood Symbiote and Elvish Visionary go unchecked,
Yeah.
that can be a big problem. It also just goes wider, and Delver decks really can't go wide. That's why they play Rough and Tumble on their sideboard, and Bug Delver plays Toxic Deluge, and
I mean, that was 2 games in a row where Matt decided to go wide.
Yeah.
In essentially the first game, I think he was still on the plan of I'm just going to keep attacking. And if I draw a natural order, that's great. If I don't, I'm going to keep attacking. I mean, your Delvers haven't flipped by now. All my creatures are value. If you decide to trade a 1-for-1, that's fine.
that's fine because it's a 1-for-1.
Right,
One
and I don't care, so I'm going to keep going. And in this game, he did the same thing. He just put him under pressure.
And that's a lot of the things that it comes down to when it comes to playing against Elves. Like, you don't want to abrupt decay their 1/1, but
Right.
it's just
Maybe you have to.
it needs to be done. Like, you need to deal with the Wirewood Symbiote. You need to deal with the Heritage Druids
Yeah.
of the world. They are very oppressive creatures, and just because they spend 1 mana, it's definitely a necessary evil.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that makes Elves such a good deck.
Well, Matt Hoey's going to move on to top 4.
Yes, he is.
We know that. We have to find out who else will join him in the top 4.
Absolutely.
We're going to go do that now. So we will be back in just a minute, guys. Stay tuned. It's been great. So far, the matches, pretty good. I mean, that was a good showing by Matt Hoey. So.
Very good showing for some very low power hands.
Yeah.
No
definitely.
no glimpse turns, nothing
Nothing.
like that.
Nothing.
Just
No-
some lands and some 1/2s.
We're not going to bounce Elvish Visionary. We're going to draw a bunch of cards. We don't
Yeah.
have to do a bunch of crazy untapping. We're just going to attack with our Dryad Arbors. So, guys, we'll be back in just a bit. Make sure you stay tuned. We got Ben Miney in the booth, so it's going to be a good top 4.
Absolutely.
Nerd Rage Gaming is proud to announce the NRG Championship Trials, a tournament series featuring monthly $1,000 cash events with rotating formats. These events allow players to experience higher-level tournaments close to home. A point structure that is easy to understand for both new and professional players. And finally, to top it off, a 16-person $2,500 championship event at the end of the year, utilizing a unique tournament structure. Be sure to stay tuned to social media for information regarding NRG Championship Trials.